Welcome to The Explainer. You know, some journeys in life are so important you absolutely need the right person in your corner. Today, we're talking about one of those, the journey through the U.S. immigration system. We're going to look at an approach that's all about combining serious legal know-how with real personal understanding. And wow, let's just start right there. This quote, it just cuts right to the chase, doesn't it? This tells you everything you need to know about the stakes. We're not talking about filling out forms here. We're talking about lives, about futures, and about how the right help can literally change everything.
Okay, so let's dive in. To really get what's going on, you first have to understand the challenge people are up against. Because navigating the immigration system, well, it's not just paperwork. It's a deeply personal and, honestly, a really tough experience for so many. And that's the thing you hear over and over again. The stakes couldn't be higher. It's emotionally draining. Your whole future feels like it's just hanging there. And on top of all that stress, the system itself is just incredibly complex.
Yeah, that's a fair question, right? We hear words like complex or bureaucratic thrown around all the time. But what does that actually feel like when you're the one trying to get through it?
Well, here's the reality. First off, the main agency, USCIS, is almost always behind schedule. Why? Because the demand is just way higher than the number of people they have to process it all. Then, you've got states like Arizona that pile their own strict laws on top of the federal ones. And then there are the basic terrifying risks. Your critical paperwork could just get lost. And maybe worst of all, you feel like you're being treated as just a number in a giant faceless machine.
And that brings us to what might be the most stressful part of this whole thing, the waiting. So when we say USCIS is behind schedule, what are we talking about in real human time?
3 years. Just let that sink in. We're not talking about a new, complex application from scratch. We're talking about a renewal for an existing green card. Imagine waiting 3 years, and while you wait, your current card could expire, putting you at risk. That one number just makes the idea of delays feel incredibly real.
So when you're facing all of that, what's the alternative? This brings us to a really different idea of what an attorney can be. It's about a specific kind of advocate. So here's the concept, the immigrant's attorney. It's not just someone who knows the law. It's a guide, a partner. And here's the crucial part, someone who personally handles your case. The idea is that your story, your future, won't just be handed off to someone else. It matters.
And this sentence, this really says it all. We are immigrants first and lawyers second. That completely changes the game. It means the legal strategy isn't just coming from a textbook. It's coming from a place of shared experience, of knowing what it feels like to be in those shoes.
And that philosophy, it's really built on two pillars that have to go together. It's not just about feeling for someone, and it's not just about being a smart lawyer. It's about how those two things combine. Let's break that down.
This slide just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have the pure professional power. We're talking over 2 decades of experience, the deep knowledge of the law, the wins, the strategy. But then, on the other side, you have the personal power, the perspective of a first-generation immigrant, that unique understanding. That's where the real trust comes from. It's the combination of the two that makes all the difference. Okay, so that's the philosophy. It sounds great, but how does it actually help you on your journey? Let's look at how this all translates into some real, practical advice you can use.
So, here's your playbook for dealing with the system itself. First, you know it's going to be slow, so you plan for it from day one. You know things can get lost or denied, so if you can, you file multiple petitions through different family members. And this is so important. You copy everything, and you use certified mail so you have a receipt, proof that they got it. It's all about playing defense.
And then there's the advice on how to even find the right advocate to begin with. You ask around, get references from people you trust. You check their credentials, make sure they actually focus on immigration law. You think about accessibility, not just their office location, but can you actually talk to them? Do they have staff who speak your language? And finally, you set up consultations. You see if they actually listen to you, if you feel that click of trust. Okay, so we've talked strategy, we've talked philosophy, but what does it all add up to? The best way to really see the impact is to hear from the people who've made it to the other side of that journey. You start to see a word show up again and again in these stories: impossible. Here's someone saying their situation felt hopeless, maybe other people even told them it was impossible, but they found a way to make it possible. And there it is again, another client, same word, an impossible issue. And look at that, sorted out in just a few months. That tells you that having the right guide can cut through the noise and get things done.
And this last one, this brings us right back to that core pillar of trust. See, it's not just about winning the case. It's about how you get there. This client is praising the honesty, the focus on finding the path that makes the most sense for them. It shows it's a real partnership.
So it all comes down to this one simple question. As we've seen, this journey is long, it's personal, it's incredibly high stakes. The whole idea we've explored today is that getting through it takes more than just a lawyer. It takes an advocate who gets it, someone with both the expertise and the empathy. So the takeaway is this: on a journey this important, who is in your corner?